We need to talk about the mint family because there's a lot of cool stuff going on with it right now. So this is actually an invasive species in my yard, but I kind of don't really care about fighting it right now because I will lose. It's just kind of everywhere, and it makes these pretty blue flowers. My daughter loves running in them, and the bees seem to love them. I don't think it's really causing that much harm. This is called bugleweed, and it is in the mint family. If we go over here, I can actually show you some of the traits that I want to point out, because I want to talk about synapomorphies of the mint family. Now, that word basically just means shared traits across different species of plants derived from a common ancestor. So, one of the main things that you will see in the mint family very commonly, the mint family, by the way, is called Lamiaceae, is bilaterally symmetric flowers. So you'll see that these flowers have a line of symmetry straight up and down the middle. So they are symmetrical left to right, not as opposed to like radially, which I don't really see. Well, some of these little Rubiaceae coffee family flowers here, you see they have 4 petals and they're sort of radially symmetric. But this bugleweed has a line of symmetry going up and down in the middle. And another thing that is very common in the mint family, here's a branch of that bugleweed, is opposite leaves. So the leaves come out in opposite pairs, and they typically are on a square stem. And it's kind of hard to see right now, but this is a squarish stem. But you can see, well, that leaf is missing right there. It's a little damaged. But this pair is coming out this way. The next pair kind of turns 90 degrees and comes out that way. Then the next pair comes out 90 degrees the other way. But leaves in opposite pairs, quite often squarish stems and flowers with bilateral symmetry. You should think mint family, Lamiaceae. Over here, we have another member of it. This plant is called Liarsleaf Sage. I guess the leaves look like the musical instrument called a lyre, I guess. They're sort of shaped like that. Kind of look like collard leaves to me, but I guess collared leaf sage doesn't sound as nice. Not as much alliteration. So Liarsleaf Sage has very, very square stems. That's square enough to see, I think. It has leaves and branches coming out in opposite pairs to each other. It has a rosette of leaves down there, but if you look closely, they're actually sort of doing an opposite pair thing, even though it's a rosette, which is sort of a smushed whirl of leaves with very little space in between them. But these flowers also have bilateral symmetry. And these little bracts back here are where the seeds will form. And it typically will be 4 small seeds that kind of stick up in there until they're sort of shaken loose. So there's another member of the mint family there. Square stems, opposite leaves, bilateral symmetric flowers. Up here, we've got another member, and this is where we can start to point out one of the other common traits of the mint family. This is oregano. If you rub those leaves, you give them a sniff, it smells like oregano. Also a little bit like weed. And right across the path here, and by the way, we can take a look at this a little closer actually. You see leaves in opposite pairs, alternating at 90 degrees. Stems are a bit squarish feeling. Right here, we have lemon balm. If you rub these leaves and smell it, it smells like lemons. Once again, leaves in opposite pairs, squarish stems. But that's another common thing with the mint family is smells. They're often quite fragrant, not all of them. That Liarsleaf Sage doesn't smell like much. In fact, if you kind of mush up the leaves, they smell bad. It's just bad. That bugleweed doesn't really smell like anything, but oregano smells like oregano, and lemon balm smells like lemons. And then out here we have another member. This is narrow leaf mountain mint, and if you rub these leaves and smell them, it doesn't really smell like anything. Well, they kind of smelled like lemon because I just touched the lemon balm with that same hand. But if I pluck one of these leaves and eat it, it's got an almost aromatic spiciness to it. I think it would be good with beans. It kind of has like a minty thing, but like thyme, which is also in the mint family. Yeah, it's got an interesting flavor. I might actually try to put this in some recipes at some point. What else we got mint wise? Well, over here we've got, so that was narrow leaf mountain mint that we looked at back there. Right here we have southern mountain mint, so a more broadleaf mountain mint, and I'm going to rub it with a different hand because everything just smells like lemon now when I rub. That smells like Vicks Vapor Rub. It smells like very, very strong mint and eucalyptus, and that is going to become a kind of lanky bush, and it'll have very interesting sort of white leaves around its inflorescence later. Didn't really look at it on the narrow leaf mountain mint, but trust me, it had opposite leaves and kind of square stems. This has opposite leaves, kind of square stems. They all do. When it flowers, the flowers are very small, but they are bilaterally symmetric. And as we come down here, I'm going to show you something that's not in the mint family, but it is in the mint order. So if you remember, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So the families group together a bunch of genuses, and the, hey, let's look at this bee while I talk, on the bugleweed. So the families group together, let's just stalk them. The families group together genuses, and orders group together families. So when I say something is in the same order but not the same family as most of our mints, it's less related. And that's what this awful thing is. This is a empress tree, princess tree, whatever you want to call it. It is in Lamiaceae, which is the mint family, or the mint order, but it is not in Lamiaceae. This is called Paulownia, and it's in the Paulowniaceae. It's in its own family, or the family that it's in is named after it. It has not leafed out yet. It's starting to, and if we get a look at those, the leafing out, it's going to be really hard to see actually, but those leaves do come out. You can kind of see right there a little bit. Those leaves do come out in opposite pairs. These stems are not square. Obviously, the stem is a trunk because it's a tree. This is an awfully invasive species. I have not killed it yet because I don't know how. Apparently, if you just cut these things down, they will, a million of them, little shoots will come up from every little root that it has out there. But in addition to opposite leaves, it's dropping these flowers everywhere, and this one's wilted and gross and it's kind of sticky, but you can see bilateral symmetry. This is the way the flower was oriented on the tree, and you see sort of those five, it's a tubular sort of fused petal thing with 5 lobes, 2 up top, 1 in the middle down at the bottom, and then 2 coming out there and on the other side. So much like the other mint flowers that we've seen, a bilateral lobie thing. These are very, very distant cousins. In the same order, but not in the same family. Anyway, that's what's going on with the mint family in my yard right now. I got bees everywhere, just going nuts on these things. Yeah, mints are often some of the first things to bloom in the spring. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna kill this tree.